Certain industries in Germany have to shut down. The economy minister says, should there not be enough Russian gas come winter. Russia has already cut supplies delivered through the Baltic Sea Nord Stream pipeline and could decide to keep the taps completely closed after scheduled maintenance work in July is over. Meanwhile, a discussion is gathering momentum whether Germany should extend the lifetime of its remaining nuclear power plants.
Fukushima 2011. An earthquake triggers a tsunami. It destroys a nuclear power plant. The accident shakes the world, leading to fears the same could happen elsewhere. The accident also prompts Germany to exit from nuclear power earlier than planned.
As a proponent of the peaceful uses of nuclear energy, I want to be very frank. The events in Japan have changed my opinion on nuclear energy.
In 2011, 17 nuclear power plants were still on the grid. Now, only 3 remain active. They are supposed to close down by the end of the year, but the war in Ukraine and surging energy prices could affect the timeline. Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the price of natural gas has jumped around 80%. Many politicians and business leaders are calling for the nuclear plants to remain in operation, so energy supplies are secure.
In an emergency situation, we have to physically secure our energy supply at any time and anywhere.
But the German Chancellor made it clear that there won't be any changes to the nuclear shutdown. Currently, nuclear plants account for 6% of electricity in Germany. The Chancellor says keeping these nuclear plants would have little effect. A survey, however, shows more than 60% of the population are in favor of continuing the operation of nuclear plants due to the looming threat of an energy crisis.
Let's get more on this from Clemens Fuest. He's the president of the IFO Institute, one of Germany's most renowned economic research institutions. Welcome back to the program, Clemens. Why would it be wise to keep Germany's 3 remaining nuclear power plants in operation?
We are facing an energy crisis, rising energy prices, and that means we should use all options to stabilize supply or to increase supply. Nuclear plants don't produce gas, but they may help to keep energy prices, electricity prices lower. In this situation of high uncertainty, it's unwise not to use all options. Now, changing the schedule for the nuclear plants is costly and complicated, yes, but it's feasible. And I think in this situation, we should use all options rather than giving away one without very good reasons.
Let's address some of these issues here. I mean, we heard the Chancellor saying everything is geared towards phasing out nuclear power this year when it comes to maintenance intervals, when it comes to these fuel rods. So how can this be overhauled?
Before the crisis, a lot of things were geared in directions that have to change now. The question is really, is it feasible to change the schedule for shutting down the nuclear plants? A lot of experts say, yes, it is feasible, it is complicated, but of course, the longer we wait, the more complicated these things become. I think we should do what's necessary to make it possible to keep these plants open. I think that would be the wiser move rather than saying just because we were on some course, we don't change it. We're changing a lot of things at the moment. We need the flexibility and we should apply that to nuclear plants as everything else.
Given the fact that amid this Ukraine war, long-standing political positions in Germany are practically changing overnight, I see that argument. Nevertheless, experts say that getting the necessary fuel elements could take between 12 to 18 months.
That's wrong. As far as I know, I'm no engineer, but the existing elements can be used a little longer, and it's possible to procure new ones as well. So it's technically possible to continue running these plants. There are papers about that. The TÜV has delivered one. Maybe not all 3 plants, but maybe it's just 2 of them, but it's possible to do this. The question is, do we have the political will? We should remind ourselves this is not about fundamentally changing the long-term strategy. I personally think it would also be good to rethink the long-term strategy about getting out of nuclear. But here we are only talking about maybe a year or 2 or 3, so just changing the schedule a little.
Clemens Fust, president of the IFO Institute, thank you for your time.